What's up guys, it's Tommy here and welcome to a brand new update on Marc Guehi, because Liverpool are in talks with Crystal Palace today and tomorrow and the next day over the transfer of Marc Guehi. And Sammy Mogbel, who is a very respected journalist at the BBC, is reporting that Liverpool want to pay around 35 million for Marc Guehi. Crystal Palace want more. There is still no agreement yet, but those talks will accelerate in the next few days. But the biggest problem or the biggest hurdle over this deal is whether the Crystal Palace chairman, Steve Parish, who is a very tough negotiator, whether he thinks it's which is more worth it, keeping Marc Guehi for the last year of his contract and then he will leave Crystal Palace on a free transfer next summer, or selling him in this next 2 weeks for 35 to 40 million pounds. Which one benefits Crystal Palace to the most? And it may be that Steve Parish, the Crystal Palace chairman, decides that this deal isn't enough, the transfer fee isn't high enough, and it may be more valuable for Marc Guehi to stay for the last 12 months of his contract and then to actually recoup some of the money that they invested into Marc Guehi and his contract. There's still a lot to get done in that deal, but there are legs in it. The talks are definitely happening, and if he was to bet, this Sammy Mogbel, a journalist, is saying that he would bet on Marc Guehi becoming a Liverpool player, because even the chairman admitted that that needs a resolution. So either Marc Guehi needs to sign a new contract or he needs to be sold. That's what the Crystal Palace chairman said recently in an interview. And also, actually, there was some kind of beef between the manager of Crystal Palace, Oliver Glasner, and Marc Guehi, because Oliver Glasner wanted to shake Marc Guehi's hand after Crystal Palace had a very organized, very respectful performance against Chelsea. They held Chelsea to a 0-0 draw at Stamford Bridge, which is a great result for Crystal Palace to start the season. But then Marc Guehi just looked over at his manager, saw him, acknowledged him, but he went straight down the tunnel. He didn't go over to him, even though the manager called him over, and that's a little bit surprising, maybe. But maybe Glasner has made it known that he's unhappy with Crystal Palace's transfer activity, and maybe Marc Guehi thought that after the Community Shield final, after Crystal Palace played Liverpool, that they would let him join Liverpool. But then probably might be that Glasner has held him back, wanting some signings first. That is the problem with, of course, Alexander Isak as well, that Newcastle wants signings. And at the moment, the latest on Alexander Isak, I will update you guys on that as well a little bit later. There are some developments in that, but basically Sammy Mogbel, who is a senior football correspondent at the BBC, is saying that Marc Guehi is very likely to join Liverpool, but we still have to wait probably this week to get this transfer done. And David Ornstein on the weekend also said that Crystal Palace are looking at alternatives to sign before they sell Marc Guehi to Liverpool. So they probably want a centre-back signed before they allow Marc Guehi to join Liverpool. He's a player who may leave Crystal Palace as well, David Ornstein said. And they are looking for alternatives. It has happened, Crystal Palace. Liverpool held talks, and he may stay and see out the final 12 months of his contract and then leave as a free agent in 2026. He played against Chelsea, and there is a lot going on at Palace. There is a lot of work behind the scenes that needs to be resolved as the season is now already underway. Guehi grew up in Chelsea's academy, and then he went to Swansea on a 1.5-year loan deal, and then he signed for Crystal Palace, and he became a really, really good player at Crystal Palace, helping them win the FA Cup against Man City and the Community Shield final against Liverpool as well. And basically what happened is the manager, Glasner, called over to Marc Guehi at the end of the game and tried to invite him to shake his hand and to basically clap the fans, and Marc Guehi looked at his manager and then ignored him and just went down to the tunnel, went to the dressing room, which is pretty strange behavior if you ask me. And it shows to me that all is not well at Crystal Palace, especially with regards to Marc Guehi's relationship with the club and with the manager as well, that not everything is rosy. So maybe Marc Guehi also wants to go on strike like Alexander Isak and force through a move to Liverpool. So far that hasn't happened yet, but the rumor is, Fabrizio said, that Liverpool have already agreed personal terms with Marc, the defender himself, and it's just that Liverpool need to agree a deal with Crystal Palace as well. But this is why it's very important that Liverpool signed Giovanni Leoni, and we have a full week to prepare him before we play Newcastle United. And at least now Liverpool have 4 centre-backs with Joe Gomez, Konate, Van Dijk and Leoni. Liverpool have 4 very, very good options, and David Ornstein said that Marc Guehi is likely to leave Crystal Palace if they can sign a replacement before the transfer window closes. So this could go down to transfer deadline day as well. And now the Newcastle fans are in a bit of a pickle because they blasted Alexander Isak that he went on strike and that he is not training with the team. But now Johan Wissa has done the same, because he has not only gone on strike at Brentford, he has removed any association with Brentford from his Instagram page as he looks to secure a move to Newcastle United. And the two clubs, Brentford and Newcastle, are in talks about the Wissa transfer fee, and as soon as that is agreed, Wissa is more than ready to fly to Newcastle to have his medical. But Brentford are continuing to block Johan Wissa's move to Newcastle, because they are, Newcastle aren't expected to offer more than 40 million for Wissa, because he's like almost 30 years old and he has 1 year left on his contract. Wissa believes that an exit will be sanctioned, but Brentford sources insist it is currently more likely that he stays. I mean, that's very, very strange, and I can't believe that Newcastle cannot even get one striker signed in this transfer window. I don't know what will happen with Alexander Isak, honestly, but if Newcastle don't sign a striker, then I can't see them letting Isak go. But then, would Isak even play for Newcastle until January? I don't know, but he would be absolutely fuming if that happened, that Newcastle basically blocked his exit to Liverpool. And also, it looks like Bournemouth are signing Ben Doak for £25 million. This is a kid who Liverpool signed just a few years ago from Celtic for like peanuts, maybe one or £2 million, and we sell him for a massive profit. And he's a good player, he's a great talent, but he's not on the level of Liverpool. He's not, as good of a talent as Trainioni or Vio and Gomoa, so it's the best case scenario that Liverpool sell him for a big, big profit, like we did with Sepp van den Berg, like we did with Fabio Carvalho. All 3 of these players went to Bournemouth. 2 of them went to Brentford, 1 of them went to Bournemouth. I mixed up those clubs, sorry about that, but basically Liverpool have this great system where we sign a lot of young players very early on to the youth academy, and some of them make it and some of them become world class and have a great career at Liverpool, like Trent Alexander-Arnold, Conor Bradley and others. But other players like Kwanzaa, we sold him for 35 million, which is a great piece of business. And basically this helps Liverpool spend the amount of money that they spend. This helps Liverpool with the PSR valuation. So both Ben Jacobs reported, will join Bournemouth for a £25 million package. That's the total package with add-ons and bonuses. And Liverpool have a buyback clause as well. So these tend to be agreed at least double the transfer fee, because if Ben Doak is sold for a massive amount of money down the line, then the buyback clause, the sell-on clause is really lucrative. But the buyback clause is basically Liverpool can buy him back for 50 million. That's the buyback clause. So we sell Ben Doak for 25 million, but if he becomes a brilliant player down the line, then we can always buy him back for 50 million. So that's included because Liverpool think Doak has elite potential. He just can't get the playing time needed to flourish, for him to flourish and for his talent to really get nurtured. He can't get the playing time at Liverpool because you pretty much need to be almost world class to get to start or to play for Liverpool week in, week out. So yeah, let me know what you think about all of these transfer stories that I talked about. This is a short video today, but tomorrow I will do a much longer one focusing on the Alexander Isak situation and everything else that's going on in the transfer window regarding Liverpool FC. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed this. Have a nice day. See you later. Goodbye.